Alright guys, welcome back to another UHC Highlights with me, JamestheDouglas. This is not so much of a UHC Highlights as it is more of a rant. Well, not a rant, just a whinge as they call it on Reddit. So basically I joined this team of three. It's random, I wasn't with Ace or Jack or anyone else. And I was teamed with two other people and we just went into the game, hoping to win. However, things didn't go so smoothly. So in the background, as you can see there, the highlights are playing at like double the speed, well, 8 times the speed actually, and I'll just talk over what happened. So basically, there was about 4 teams, I don't know, maybe I'll bring up tabs sometime and you can pause and try and count how many teams there actually were. But there was about 4 or 5 teams, and basically it got to the point where after 10 minutes there was only 2 teams left. It was my team, minus one person because our guy left or died. I can't remember what happened. And there was another team of 3 with a donator in it. Now, so what basically happened was some guy in the other team kept typing in 00, and that was all he did for a couple of minutes. Then after a while, they actually went from just saying 00 to, hey, you guys should come to centre. There's only 2 of us left, 2 teams left. It then got to the point where the donator said, "Oh yeah, I'm a what do you call it, a moderator, and the new rule is if there's only 2 teams left, you must head to centre, and all that sort of stuff, or you'll get banned." And well, at first I found that quite funny because I thought if she was a moderator, I think it was a she name, so I assume it was a female. If she was a moderator, she would be marked with the moderator sign instead of the donator sign. And then, so I asked for proof of evidence to suggest that this was the case, and she posted a Twitter link or something like that. I clicked on it, nothing. It did not provide me any evidence for that rule whatsoever. Now, typically what's happened in the past, and you might remember one of my live com UHC highlights where I won using a notch apple after being at 1.5 hearts. You might remember in that game, I was ready to go to centre, with half an hour to go, 45 minutes to go. However, instead of forcing the other guy, because there was only 2 of us left, instead of forcing him to come, I said, do you want to come or do you want more time? And he said, oh, can I have more time? And I was like, sure, because that's how I think UHC should be played. I think it should be played in a way that, you don't want it drawn out too long. You don't want to, be sitting looking for diamonds for hours and hours and hours on end. You do want to end the game at some point, but at the same time, you don't want to end the game too quickly. You want to give people a chance to get armoured up. And these guys just weren't for it. And, they were... I don't know what their problem was, because I said to them, if you're that bored, just leave. And they were like, but you die if you leave. And I was like, yeah, well, that's your... you can either armour up and then try and beat us when we're ready, or you can leave and forfeit, But I said I was going to play... I was going to play to the end. Maybe not to deathmatch, but I was going to play until I had thought me and my teammate were suitably armoured up and enchanted and whatnot. Because I think I found diamonds at some point during the game, and you can see in the background there's a whole load of chat, and that's us communicating. Obviously, you can't read it because of the bad quality, but you'll just have to take my word for it. And I know there was a lot of debate on the Reddit recently, Reddit Ultra Hardcore, about early Meetup and that, and how generally people don't like it, and I agree with that. I mean, I think early Meetup shouldn't be overlooked. I think it is good to have that option, but I don't think it should be. I think it should only be used at certain times, i.e. when there's like 2 people left, they're both armoured up and they're both looking. I mean, I know in Reddit a lot of people go to 00 if they want to find people, but that's not generally how I play. So there could be people, wandering about and then call early meetup so they do meet and they do fight and the game is over in good time. But yeah, this game just got silly because no disrespect to the other team, actually, no disrespect to them, but I think their logic and reason just wasn't good enough. I mean, I think there was ways they could have bluffed it, but they just never did. And at the same time, I'd read the rule book just like the day before, and there was nothing in it about early meetups, so I was in the know of the rules and that, and yeah. So I don't know. It was kind of a bad situation. So yeah, it definitely wasn't the best game ever. As you can see, I found diamonds there. I was just trying to get myself and my teammate armored up. At one point, one of them left. I think it was the lassie that left early. Was I on fire there? Yeah, I was. Yeah, the lassie left, and then there was just two of them, and they just kept saying, "Come to center," all that sort of stuff. And they said we're unenchanted or something like that. But I think we could have taken them at the point it was 2v2, but I'm not entirely sure. Uh, I just wanted to win. I wanted to gear up as much as I could before facing them. And then it got to the other point where there was only one of them left, and then ultimately there came a time when there was none of them left. And I know I'm saying this before we've actually reached that point, but it's pretty obvious what's going to happen because I wasn't going to let them have their own way. That was because my teammate had won only one game before or something like that, and that had been um, by default. But I was not wanting to give the guys their own way because yeah, we could have gone and beaten them, but then we would have done what they'd whined about. I wanted to take my time to armor up. If they were there when we were armored up, then fine. But if they left, so be it. That was another win for me because I was the last survivor with my teammate. So yeah, definitely not the best game of ultra hardcore, and this is what Eximius can come to sometimes, which is why I wouldn't say it's my favourite. Why I wouldn't say it's the best ultra hardcore, but ultimately a win's a win. I'll take it and move on from this learning experience. But I think the situation I handled as well as I could. But sometimes in this situation you just have to be mature and try and have good manners and whatnot. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.